Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Leo January 1, 2023. Dealing with others who are unsure of themselves can be frustrating today, but the delay may work in everyone's favor, ultimately. Avoid pushing for an answer or a decision, as it can be difficult to come by now with the Sun and retrograde Mars forming a quincunx aspect. There can be a lot left up in the air. You're in good shape creatively, in general, but with this aspect in play, you could be wrestling with some self-doubt today. Certain things can consume so much of your time that you can feel behind in your work or duties. It's not easy to find a direct route to getting what you want, but feeling listless is temporary. Remind yourself that indecisiveness is not always a bad thing, as holding off on making a decision or coming to a conclusion can sometimes work in your favor. Don't beat your head against a wall. Although today could very much make you feel the need to. As your planetary ruler, mental Mercury, freezes like a lantern in the night sky, he will not move whatsoever. He is about to begin a nearly month-long retrograde phase through a fellow sign. This particular winter retrograde phase will cause us to take a deep look at our legacies. We may be assessing how we create structure in our lives and how our relationships also play a factor. Use this time to peer deeply within. Try to avoid any unnecessary entanglements. Since the moon in Aries will conjunct Chiron in Aries, you may feel more mindful of any debt, financial stressors, or a lack of boundaries that have resulted in poor workplace relationships. You could focus on whatever you have taken on that has made you feel disempowered or out of control. However, shifting your perspective might be better to focus on the investments and close bonds you have made. You could even take back your power by resetting firm boundaries with some professional entanglements. The moon's first visit to your financial sector since Jupiter's return last week is also the last while Eris, the warrior princess of the cosmos, is in retrograde motion here. It is the moon's alignment with Eris today that is not just fueling your financial instincts and imagination, but as Eris is a fighter, is reconnecting you with some of your old financial passions and fighting spirit. You often find yourself caught in the middle of two friends who aren't getting along, in the middle of trying to accomplish many goals at once, in the middle of trying to get from point A to point B without hurting or disappointing anyone. This is how you exhaust yourself. To help vitalize your inner core, focus on your diet and exercise. Doing whatever it takes to execute these two areas of your life will give you the peace of mind to choose what goals you can realistically accomplish. You're likely to be very talkative on this day. The essence of the day can encourage openness in even the shyest of people. Further, you can expect to feel particularly creative. If there's something you'd like to try to make, this is the day for it. Decorating is such a big part of many people's holiday schedule. Why not put some of this creative juice towards doing something nifty for the new year? As the moon approaches its return to an adventurous part of your chart tomorrow, there is likely to be a sense of anticipation. Already, with Uranus in his final weeks in retrograde motion here and Mercury in his early days in retrograde motion in a playful part of your chart, there is a sense of nostalgia. With life already busy and set to get even busier in the new year, this is a reminder of times in the past when life wasn't all work and no play, and that it is not too late to make the most of the doors open to the past and second chances. An alignment between Neptune, the planet of dreams, and the asteroid Juno, the queen of commitment and especially commitment to your relationships, might be separating, but as you approach the new year, this is creating a new sense of resolve. Both will remain in your relationship sector as one year ends and the next begins, giving you something to commit to moving forward. Our eyes in the sky. The moon continues its journey through temperamental Aries, which can be exhausting for empaths and those with an exceptionally strong nurturing side. While you'll feel drawn to help and take care of others, be wary of anyone who takes you for granted now, and don't be afraid to say no if you don't feel up to doing something. More than ever, you're conscious of your desires and comfortable with your general outlook on life. You're unlikely to feel frustrated or find anything too confusing, you're very much at ease with yourself and in control of circumstances. Your sensitivity may leave you vulnerable. Your health and home life are areas of importance to focus on. Others greatly appreciate how capable you are even in the most difficult situations. Your modest and unassuming approach is admired and appreciated by everyone who knows you. Maintain your well-being by incorporating some exercise into your daily routine. The open air is particularly beneficial for you now. The moon shares a frustrating square to Mercury retrograde tonight, which could make communication difficult, especially if it pertains to emotions. You might find that people are either cold or very much in their feelings, and it won't always be easy to predict how someone is going to react to you. There could also be technological issues or brain fog, so remember to ground yourself if things start to go haywire in those realms. Things should begin to feel lighter, and perhaps even a bit dreamy, but your psychic senses will get a big boost from the cosmos, so be careful who you surround yourself with. Avoid anyone who drains you emotionally or you'll likely become energetically depleted. Try to focus your energy on the people who lift you up. Try to go to bed early, because your body will likely need some additional rest. The cosmic weather is exceedingly quiet today, until the Aries moon sextiles Saturn in Aquarius, offering us stability. Confidence in our capabilities finds us making intelligent choices that engender our success in the wider world. The sextile is an auspicious but easygoing influence. We can miss its most optimal effects by refusing to get out of the house. Consider volunteering for community outings. They help you establish or build upon promising relationships. Because we have extra physical stamina under the Aries moon, we're better at showing than telling now. Our knack for strategy and desire for movement can lend to playing games as social icebreakers. If we are unable to be out and about, this transit marks an occasion to connect with family or mentors who have more experience than us in our line of work. Elders have wisdom to share. They will be open to showing us the ropes if we can sit still long enough to take their advice. Later on at night, the moon squares off with Mercury in Capricorn, making us anxious. A disconnect between our hearts and our minds makes communicating with others difficult. And the fact that Mercury is still retrograde doesn't help matters. We're much more in our heads than usual, replaying past conversations and doubting our knowledge base, worried that we've said too much or haven't said enough. We feel moody, as if no one has given our opinions the respect they deserve. Take this opportunity to review what you believe and why. If we are insecure voicing our thoughts, it may be because on a subconscious level, we question our own logic. Instead of making up an imaginary villain to rail against, take this time to separate yourself from the triggering conversation to do some real thinking on it. You may discover that your biases have been inherited from your family, your workplace, or even your media intake. Find your center so you can re-enter these dialogues in the future with a clearer head and more cogent talking points.